Hello, it's V.L.C. and welcome back to my very luscious cooking channel. Today I will be making beer battered fish sandwiches and of course my famous hash browns on the side. Alright, so I have all of my ingredients here that I will be using. I have my cod fillets for my fish beer battered fish sliders. You know, I took the fillets, I actually cut them in half, and I seasoned them with Cajun seasoning and a little garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I have my rolls for my sliders. I'm gonna be brushing them with some butter and toasting those. I have my beer for my beer batter and 1 cup of flour that I will be adding 6 ounces of beer to. And then I have some flour right here to dredge my cod in after I dip it in the batter. All right, so I also will be having my hash browns, and I'll be having those with onions and cheese, so smothered and covered. And I'm gonna start by putting my hash browns on, and then I'll come back and make my beer batter and get started with my cod. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my hash browns to my pan. And I'm gonna flatten those out. And go ahead and add a little salt to it. And remember, we're gonna let them cook like this for about 5 to 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my salt, and then I'm gonna work on my beer batter for my fish. Now I will be making my beer batter for my fish. So I have, again, 1 cup of flour. I added 1 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, 1 teaspoon of Slap Your Mama seasoning, and I'm going to add 6 ounces of beer. I'm going to go ahead and stir that up. And you want your batter to be to the consistency of like pancake batter. So I'm definitely going to need some more. I'm going to add a little more. And this is what I will be dipping my fish into. So I'm almost there, you guys. So I have my batter to my desired consistency. And if you like yours thicker, use a little less beer. If you like it thinner, use a little more. But it takes anywhere from about 6 to 8 ounces. Start with 6 when you're using 1 cup of flour. And now I'll be brushing my rolls with butter, and then I'm gonna be adding them to the oven to brown, and then we'll be back to batter our fish and fry them. I also have my oil heating. I just turned that on. I didn't want it to get too hot because I don't want my fish to cook too fast. All right, so I got the butter on my rolls, and I broil mine, but if you broil them, you have to make sure you watch them because they will cook fast. So I'll be right back to batter my fish. All right, so I'm coming back to flip my hash browns. I didn't flip that one good, but flip your hash browns. And I'm gonna get them back together, press them down. Add my onions to the top. You know how we like our hash browns. Put those onions on the top. Let me get those. Now, let's go and batter some fish. Now it's time to batter my cod fillets and get them to frying. So I'm just gonna start with my first piece, dip it in my batter. And then I'm gonna dredge it in this flour. And I may need a little more. That looks pretty good right there. Gonna do this with my second piece. The same thing. Then dredge it in my flour. And you just repeat this process with all of your fillets. You may have to add a little more flour for dredging. And if you do that, remember to also add a little more seasoning. Welcome back. Now it's time to drop my fillets into the grease. And it'll probably take about 3 to 5 minutes for those to cook. Let them get a nice brown. And then y'all know what time it's going to be. It's time to remove my fish from the grease. And you know your fish is ready when it begins to float to the top. And also, when the fish is your desired color. Like I like mine to be a nice brown. So I place my fish on a plate with a paper towel so it can drain. I'm gonna add my cheese to the top so it can melt. Put it on your hot fish so it can melt. And now it's time to make the sandwiches. I'm just gonna place my fish on the top. As you can see, I have my buns already toasted with the tartar sauce and a pickle. Just gonna add my fish just like that. And then I'm gonna add this other piece of fish right here. And plate number 2. All right, you guys. Here is my finished product. You have my famous beer battered fish sliders with my famous hash browns smothered in onions and covered in cheese. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching my channel. Make sure you like my video, share, subscribe to Very Luscious Cooking. And as always, bon appetit. It's time for V.L.C. to eat.